I think I can change it here. Let me edit this.
And so we don't get that really loud announcement at 2. I'm going to start the recording again.
I can edit it because it's too. It'll take as long as you can.
Okay.
I can't start it until 2:12.
And how long into your presentation does that?
Well, I was going to try to go really fast, but I can.
No, how far into your presentation?
Yeah, I was going to have it like 3 or 4 minutes, but I can push it to 5 minutes. So if you can go to 2:07 or 2:08, I'll be fine.
Okay.
I share 2 o'clock.
Yep.
You want to give people 2 more minutes to join?
Sounds good.
Okay. We'll go for one or 2 minutes to get everybody to join. Welcome everybody to our pitch day for 50K. Thanks for coming out this afternoon to listen to Tim Walsh and Gary Kanazawa of Express Tickets and Minky Tan and Douglas from Relativity. Both will be presenting. They'll each have up to 10 minutes to present their company. And then once they're done presenting their company, we'll have up to 15 minutes of Q&A. Sometimes we take all that time, sometimes we don't. And then we'll, for Tim Walsh and Gary Kanazawa, will go first from Express Tickets. And then once their presentation and the associated Q&A is finished, we'll let Minky present from Relativity. So the way this works is once we're done with the presentations and the Q&A, then all of this is being recorded, and each of our companies will have 2 recordings. One recording, which is the entire presentation along with all the Q&A, and that recording will be just for you and anybody you choose to share that video link with. Anybody listening live today clearly is going to hear the whole Q&A process, but those who don't listen live will only hear the Q&A if you share the video, you share that link with them. What they will see in a public forum is just your slides from the point where you introduce yourself until you say, thanks very much, does anybody have any questions? Or whatever your last statement is. At that point, we'll edit the video stopped, and then that's the 10 minutes-ish that will remain on our YouTube channel, unless you tell us to take it down. So, usually in any given pitch day, there's anywhere from 10 to 20 people that listen live. And then we have 32 investors that are part of our investment group at FundNV, most of whom, if they can't attend live, do listen to the video recordings after the fact. The way that we make decisions about whether or not we extend an offer of $50,000 and extend an offer to get into the accelerator is our LPs, our investors, make those votes. So whether or not they're on the call live today is not of significant consequence, other than the fact that we will solicit them for their opinions and feedback before we make a final decision on who to invest in and how the investment will work. So when that does happen, we oftentimes, if there's not enough information on the pitches that are done here today, I will invite the founder back for another 15, 20 hour long session with just the investors. So if we do invite you back because we want to know more, we'll ask you a bunch of more questions. We probably won't ask you to present again, but we'll ask you a bunch of more questions. I think just one other quick announcement is we've got right now 2 outstanding offers to come into the accelerator. We have 4 companies that are going through that process that I talked about, where we're asking them questions and having subsequent meetings. So it's been, and that's been just since May. So we're having a nice little run of companies that are looking really good, which we're feeling really good about. And hopefully one or both of you guys that are presenting today will be amongst that growing population of companies that's jumping into the accelerator and getting that $50,000 investment from us. And then once we're done with that investment, getting you into the accelerator, we're going to work really hard with you over the course of the next few months to take that $50,000 investment and really leverage it and leverage it with you in a way that we're confident that we can help you get that next sort of mid 6-figure to low 7-figure investment out of a seed fund, either one that we're directly affiliated with or one that we'll meet along the way together. So with all of that behind us, I'm going to turn it over to Tim and Gary to tell us about Express Tickets. Tim, Gary, anytime you're ready.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. I have a short presentation that I'm going to start with, and then we're going to jump straight into the product because we are live and we can show it to you. So let me get started here. So our product is called Stream It Now. It's a ticketing, promotion, and hosting platform so people can make money live streaming. This is the team. Gary and I started it. We have extensive experience as executives in large corporations, small companies, entrepreneurs. We've also both had different successful exits as startups. The problem we're solving is that content creators don't make a lot of money on live streaming because only large acts or large people can have access to streaming. So the opportunity is this $93 billion business exists. And the problem again is people can't make money doing live streaming very well. So the opportunity is for us to create a self-service hosting, ticketing, marketing solution with engagement tools that enables content creators to make money live streaming. We call it a business in a box. There's a lot of potential here. You can see by year 3, we're showing $1 billion of revenue and net profit of almost 300 million. There's 4 key components: setting up an event, creating tickets to sell, to monetize, marketing, we'll explain that a little bit more, and it includes engagement during the live stream. Once the live stream is done, we provide all the data, something other sites don't do. They don't give you the data. So you can build your community, you can cross-sell, you can upsell, and you can help manage your business. When we focus on live events, it's nearly the same flow. We just have to create an event at a venue, and then we have to have gate redemption and venue validation. We already have this technology in place, and so we're ready to go. So that's a quick presentation of Stream It Now. And now I'm going to jump to the product. So this is the website, and we're on the event management page. You can see there's all different things here. This is the user. These are the different things you can go in and adjust there. And one of the things you can do here is you can create a live stream event. So you go in, it's super simple. You upload your images, you fill out this information, and you set up your event. So in the interest of time for this presentation, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go into one that I've already created. So here's one, and we can edit this so you can see it. All right, let's try this again.
Tim, I think you have to go to an event that's more than 30 minutes prior.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't have any of those. So
Just create a new one.
yeah, let's just create a new one. Okay. So just do this real quick. So you can see you just load your items, and then you give it a name and the start date and a time. And go ahead and test. And then the host, the same thing. You can upload an image. And Eddie. Test. Oh, I thought I did. And then this is the really important part. You set the number of tickets, you set the price, and then we show you exactly the fees that are charged right here, and you see what your net is as a content creator. This is what you'll get paid out through a Stripe account. And there you go. That's the event. We created it. And now we can share it. So now I'm going to go back. Well, I'm going to go back. Gary, can I share an event that's not 30 minutes out?
I think so. Yeah, give it a shot.
Yeah, I should be able to. Yeah. Okay. Make sure I got the right one. 212. Yeah, so I'm going to share this. I'm going to share it on Facebook. You can share it on all your socials, websites, everywhere you want. So now here it is. I'm going to go ahead and post the ad that's automatically created by us for the content creator. And there it is. It's shared successfully. Now I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and Gary's going to come on and show you what it looks like from the fan side. He's on Facebook.
Cool. So thank you, Tim, and thank you guys. Appreciate you letting us kind of present to you today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen here, and I am playing the role of one of Tim's fans, and I'm going to go to my Facebook feed and see what I have here. Oop. Oops, let's go back to Facebook home. Okay, so we could see that there's something, an event that Tim shared just now. So the cool thing is that, like I said, the click of a button, we were able to publish and market the event to Facebook. So I'm the end user here. I'm going to click on this. And as Tim shared before, all the images and things that he uploaded, he had created this in advance. You could see all that. So we create the landing page for you. There not only is there the ability to buy a ticket, which I'm going to do, but also there's the ability for me to reshare these things. And as one of the things that we do is we share the link, right? And we track the attribution, so we know who shared it, and that Tim shared it first, and then I shared it. And a really cool thing we're excited about is that we have self-serve affiliate sales. So now if I said, hey, I want to go and share this, but I'm an influencer, if I join as an affiliate, I could share this link, and for every link I share, we automatically create the attribution, so I'll actually get paid a rev share for sharing that link. So with that, let me actually just be a fan, go in and buy the ticket. I'm going to enter some credit card information here. We're using Stripe and Stripe Marketplace to be able to kind of host our backend. So it makes it it's a really kind of nice, stable backend that we have that's powering our marketplace. So let me do this. $10. Tim is profiting from me here. Okay, so cool. So Tim has started live streaming here's my event. This is my ticket. And so other people that don't have not bought a ticket can't get in. You can't just share a URL or anything. So I'm going to jump in to watch the live stream. Take a couple moment to connect. Looks like Tim, you may not be streaming yet. But if Tim were streaming, oh, say again?
It should be.
Okay. So what we could do is that we can actually chat. We can, Tim, maybe if you want to hit the thumbs up, or I'll hit it. I'll hit some of those things. We could actually interact. And one of the things is, I'm not sure what's happening with the live stream here, is that we can actually, okay. Reload the page, give that a shot. So what we're using as a backend is the Wowza streaming server or streaming cloud. We're actually using to power our live stream. So here we go. Give it a minute to connect. Hopefully we see Tim there. But the cool thing that we have here is that we provide the ability to interact. So these emoticons, the ability to message and chat, all those things are our ability for a content creator. So whether it's a musician, whether it's somebody doing a cooking show, an exercise show, all of them could interact with each other. So I don't know if this is connecting, Tim, on our beta server here, but yeah, I think that's kind of the end-to-end experience. And from here, I'm going to actually give it the control back to you, Tim. But the idea is that now Tim has all the reporting information. With, unlike some of the other, I've worked for some of the ticket sales companies. Tim has all the data. He has all the contact information for folks who have bought tickets. He has all the clicks that we showed you, click attribution, all the purchases, and can essentially own and have all that data, and even mail everybody, email or contact everybody that's been to the event. So with that, Tim, I'm going to hand it back over to you.
Great. Thanks, Gary. I think that is pretty much the end of our time, right, Jeff?
Yeah. Well,
yeah. So
you've got a minute if you need it.
Okay. Yeah. So we're really excited. We're in beta. We're looking for about eventually, $400,000 to go after marketing and continue development. We will be live. We'll be generating revenue within 30 days. And I'd like to invite anyone that has wants to spend more time with it to contact us, and we can set you up to set up some live stream events.
A couple of questions that came in. So Tim, you want to answer the first one? Other investors that we have? That was a question that came up.
So good. So yeah.
This is my portion of the
okay.
of the show. I pose the questions, and I'll end up probably consolidating some of them.
Oh, okay, got it. I saw them come up in the chat.
Yeah. Okay, so Jeff asks, is there an opportunity in the future to use smart cards or smart contracts or NFTs?
Yes, so for live streaming, we don't require that because it's all self-contained. But once you have live tickets, you can create tickets as NFTs so they can be resold, like tickets are sold on StubHub. And so that creates a really secure way for people to resell tickets. And how you can incorporate smart contracts is that you can, in the smart contract, say that the original creator of the event can get a percentage of every subsequent sale, something that doesn't happen now. So if a band goes, sells a ticket for $100, they end up costing $500 because they got resold 10 times in the secondary market. They get a percentage of every one of those sales. So they have the opportunity to make more money.
Okay. That's great. What is your business model? You had it up there very briefly when you were showing what the fees were, but could you expound on the business model?
Yeah, so it's really simple. We charge 15%. Now we can lower that as we grow. Right now we're starting at 15%. And the other expenses are live streaming fees, which we pass through, and payment fees, which we pass through. So those fees combined with our fee represent the total fee that the content creator pays. And we want to get that well below 20%. Right now, if you do a live stream on a site like Facebook or Vimeo, you're paying 40 to 50% of your revenue share to those companies without getting any feedback from users and things like that.
So how are you reaching the people that are going to be like, who are your customers and how are you getting to them to upload events and live events on your platform?
So we're starting out with music companies, agencies, managers. I have a network of those coming from the music business way back in the day. And we're going to use those to seed the Stream It Now. And then we'll get some data from there. And then we'll figure out what segments to go after. And we'll start buying Facebook ads and marketing. We'll also go to events. We're looking at OEM deals with partners that are in the same space as live streaming, but in other functions like professional software for recordings or hardware for cameras and microphones and things like that.
Okay. So what's your expected gross margin then?
Right now, early on, it's pretty low, but I think we can get to about a 30% profit margin. Gross, I'd have to go back and look and see exactly what that is.
Okay, so there are some competitors that have been named here. So do you want to just take these one at a time? How is this different from Twitch?
Yeah, so I'll kind of take them. I saw a few of them stream, but I didn't catch all of them. But I guess there's a couple key differentiators for us. One is there's a lot of the monetization model, right? So selling tickets and the challenge is that especially for smaller content creators, with the advertising models that the Facebook, the Vimeos, some of those have limits, right? The lower limits because it's an ad model. So you have to have a certain number of followers or a certain number of viewers. And so, we can actually do this. And because you're actually marketing to your own, through your own social networks, as Tim demonstrated, they could reach out to their own audience, right, and sell these tickets. And so a smaller content creator who can't even get to any monetization at a YouTube or any of these, the bigger guys, would be able to sell tickets. And if you're selling tickets for, say, $10 each, as Tim had done, you probably make $7 to $8, back. And so you could monetize those events. And so that's one key difference. The other one that we like to think about is just everything being in a box. So, in many cases, you're kind of, you're live streaming on one platform. You have to manage your marketing on another. You got to create ads. You have to, some use Patreon or, other ways to monetize. And as you saw from our brief demo, a lot of this is the business in a box, right? So being able to go in as quickly as Tim did, I bought a ticket that quickly, and then we didn't show it, but being able to kind of manage the business and see all the sales and, also do CRM from the back end. So that kind of ease of use in business as a box is something that we consider a differentiator.
And the affiliate program.
And the affiliate program.
Yeah.
Okay, another competitor, OnlyFans.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with the OnlyFans, so I'm not sure how we differentiate from them. Eventbrite, that's one that Tim and I have looked at a lot, and definitely I'm familiar with from my kind of days at StubHub. Again, I think one of the things that we look at is Eventbrite does have a lot of the ticketing, functionality in the box. We try to differentiate in that we have the full kind of end-to-end simple integration that's just focused on live streaming and really optimized toward that audience. So we've really kind of tuned our user experience flows towards just making that as simple as possible. While, Eventbrite has a very robust, back end. They also kind of, that the other thing that we think is different than Eventbrite, although they create the tickets, we just integrate that all together. So in terms of Eventbrite, that's how we see ourselves as being different. It's just really being focused on the space and kind of having that simplicity of the integration of all the pieces.
Okay, so then would you be using this to market virtual attendance to in-person events?
It could be. I mean, I think that, where Tim and I had talked about our go-to-market strategy is, starting with that long tail and those because they don't have a solution, right? And starting there and being able to kind of do that as a phase one. That the phase two is really starting to get into those events, and it's interesting. It could be anything from kind of the local MMA to a high school football game where they want to sell tickets. So grandma from Pennsylvania could attend a football game on the West Coast, and being able to kind of augment an event like that. And so with that in mind, we've kind of built the infrastructure to be able to integrate not just cameras in the phones and on the laptops, but the hardware, like OBS and remote cameras and things like that, to be able to support those kind of events. But that's certainly a phase two, and then getting to bigger and bigger events and venues as we move forward.
So you're going to charge Granny to watch her grandson play?
Well,
We don't
we'll
charge them.
tickets.
Yeah, we don't charge them. We just provide the service for the team to charge her.
Okay. What are some of the other competitors? Because you said you weren't too familiar with OnlyFans. Who do you see as your biggest competitor?
Yeah, I mean, when we looked at the market size and where a lot of these users are, we didn't look at Twitch as much of a competitor, since it's kind of focused on the gaming space. I know there's movement into some of the other areas, but into music and some other genres. But what we were really targeting initially is kind of the YouTube streamers, and then also the Vimeo / live stream. And those were some of the bigger ones where there's they have large audiences. And we feel like, especially for the long tail users, and we had a slide on this as well. I don't know if we showed it today, but that our monetization model will really catch the 90-something% of those live streamers that are not really able to monetize their live stream events, and be able to tap into that market.
So who are your initial target market? I've got somebody asked whether it was musicians, business podcasters, speakers. Do you have a target, and have you figured out a way to reach them?
Yeah, so our initial target is music. And we're going to go after performers that frankly haven't been making much money because they haven't been touring. And this gives them a way from their own studio or home to set up events. They market the tickets to their own fans. And so it's a direct relationship they have with their fans, and they can generate revenue that way. And then going from there, fitness, yoga, also seminars, anything that you would have had in a hotel meeting room that before COVID, could be done with this technology, selling tickets to those types of events as well. And so those are the markets we're going to look at. And then as we grow, when we get to the phase two with the Pro Tools, we'll go for larger events. It could be sports, theater, simultaneous casts of live events and live stream events, and just continue to grow that way.
Okay, so what's your current traction?
We're pre-revenue, so we are in beta. We are just about to go live. We're very excited, and like I said, in 30 days we'll be generating revenue, and then we'll have the data and the revenue and the traction.
So you have a target go live date?
What would you say, Gary? End of August?
Yeah, we're looking at end of August. Right now, we just got to, as you saw, we just got to code complete. And so we're entering a couple week kind of regression stabilization period. We're going to do UAT. We've already done some usertesting.com tests and kind of some hand-picked musicians, and done a little bit, got usability feedback with them. So we'll do that, and then target really, as Tim said, the end of August to start doing a very limited test with some friendlies through Tim's network, and then expanding from there.
Okay, so you are raising money, is that right?
Yeah, we are mostly self-funded. We do have two investors, Kiwi Tech and Blue Heron, but we haven't really gone out and raised money because we wanted to be live and show the data and the revenue, because frankly, that's what people want to see. So we'll be getting more active on raising money here. The timing with this opportunity is perfect, because 50,000 now or over the next 6 weeks or months, and then going aggressively after the investors, seed investors, and potentially Series A. That's right in our wheelhouse right now. So it's a great time for us.
So Nick is asking, well, somebody was asking, what's the valuation on the 400K then? Is it, or is it a note?
We've been using safes. Right now we have a $10 million valuation, but we would have to have that conversation with investors to see what the terms would be.
Okay. What's the technical requirement for the user to do a quality live stream?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what we're doing, we're using, so our back end, we're using the Wowza streaming cloud. We're using WebRTC as a technology for both on both sides. It's just a browser. We don't have an app. And so what we try to do is, right now we're going at kind of I won't say the lower end of the market, but we're trying to keep something really simple and just saying, for phase one, as we talked about, this is just, your basic laptop or phone. That's the only hardware requirement. Chrome tends to work much better. So Chrome and Safari as required browsers for the live streamers. We have a larger browser kind of footprint, of course, on the end user side. And really, like, as long as you don't get too far back in age on the devices, so last couple years of Android and iOS devices, Mac laptops, and Windows 10, we generally support Chrome, Safari, and to a lesser extent Edge and Firefox on those.
So I interpreted the question differently when I read it, that the person was asking, what does a user have to do in order to put on a good show? How much more investment do they need to make besides their laptop to actually put on a good show?
Yeah, I think it really depends on the user. And like I said, I think initially what we're trying to target is just those who may just be using their laptop. That's kind of the phase one, or their phone, and just broadcasting using that technology. We already have in place, but kind of hidden, and not released yet, the ability to plug in, remote cameras. So any kind of camera that you have plugged into, say, the USB port, we have that. And then, on our roadmap for that phase two, when we kind of try to, address some of the more, professional, the small venues and folks like that, then we're going to look at integration of some of the tools that, OBS and some of the tools that they use to do, multiple cameras and those types of things. But we're really starting at the low end of the market initially.
Yeah, and on that point, I mean, if you went down to Best Buy and looked at the live streaming products they'd have there, you could buy cameras and lighting and microphones and plug that all into your laptop and upgrade your performance that way too, at a very, very low cost.
Okay, so the coding, you said you're almost done with the coding, you're doing some testing and stuff. Do you have an internal coding team, or is that what you're doing with Kiwi Tech?
We have, so Kiwi Tech is doing the lion's share of the development. Tim and I have an engineer that we keep, kind of on retainer, and to make sure that he's a very senior engineer. He does code reviews. He knows how to, do all the builds and everything. He, all the environments and all of the servers and everything is, of course, our express tickets and not sitting there at Kiwi Tech or owned in a Kiwi Tech account. And so we have him, but we don't have internal engineers writing code day to day.
Okay. Steven Sitar makes the comment that it sounds like Hopin, Big Marker, etc. Any comment on that?
You know what? I haven't used Hopin. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. It's just differentiation from that.
Yeah, I haven't used them, so I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay, and you guys, maybe you did, Tim, and I missed it, but what do you know your TAM SAM? How big is this market?
Yes,
how much is it growing?
Live streaming is a $93 billion market globally. We're probably narrowing it down to about 4 or 5 billion that we're focused on here domestically. But then as we go through our phases of advancement, we'll be able to address bigger markets and go global, and eventually be a platform that's a global platform for live streaming and live events.
Okay, Jeff, did you have any last questions?
Oh, there's our timer. I know, Tim, you're here in Reno. Gary, where are you?
Yeah, I'm down here in Dallas.
Okay, gotcha. Awesome. I think that's it. We're at the end of our time for you guys. Nice job on the presentation. Fascinating. That was my question on the NFTs, if you couldn't tell.
Well, thank you guys.
Fascinated with what the NBA is doing with Top Shot and some of that other stuff where the fans get a little extra if they're buying into the NFL.
Yeah, that's definitely in the roadmap. All right, thanks.
Even a basketball fan, but I still like that idea.
Yeah.
So awesome. Congrats. Nice job, guys.
Okay,
All right.
thanks.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Jeff.
All right. Now,
Bye, guys. Thank you very much.
all right. Minky, are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So Minky is going to talk to us about relativity and a little bit of trading.
Yep, that's right. Hi everyone, my name is Minky. I'm the co-founder of Relativity. Today I will show you how Relativity optimizes the efficiency of the financial markets. To begin, ask a question. How efficient do you think financial firms are operating? The answer is not at all. Most financial firms' win-loss ratio average below 60%, and oftentimes they're below 50%. In fact, you find that most fund managers cannot even beat the S&P 500. Why? One explanation is that these professional funds are fixated on short-term profits. Doing so may increase their fees and commissions. However, this may result in poor timing in order execution. Not being able to enter and exit at the right time increases the frequency of market boom-bust cycles, which leads to inconsistent returns for investors. And that is the problem we're facing today. And this is where the theory of quantitative relativity, or TQR, comes in. Using TQR, we are able to increase the order execution efficiency to 90%. TQR is based on linear and nonlinear correlations of mathematical spaces relative to a proprietary system of coordinates. If this sounds like an alien language to you, let me break it down. In simple terms, the theory posits that the electronic exchange market operate by a set of physics. Knowing that set of rules allows us to optimize the efficiency of program trading and portfolio management systems. That is how our algo can achieve a high win rate across different financial markets. As we mentioned, our algo can be used on different financial securities. They include equities, bond, futures, commodities, and crypto. The total addressable market is over $200 trillion worldwide. And we will be getting into equities and crypto first, totaling around $72 trillion. Next, let's look at some of our competitors. These are some of the well-known quant hedge funds that are consistently beating the market. The numbers are based on the available information that they disclosed. These firms are similar to us in a way that they also rely heavily on quantitative-based strategies and algorithmic models for trading. But unlike those firms, which may use many sophisticated models that take a large amount of data as inputs, we employ a single algorithm that takes prices as the only input. And we can achieve a high win rate across different markets using the same algorithm. And that is what makes us disruptive. Okay, what we are looking for is someone who can help us manage our growth and arrange our capital management, our capital requirements as we scale up. With that said, $1 million of capital will get you 10% equities in the LLC with either quarterly or annual distribution, depending on the negotiation. The investor will also get 10% of the revenue from the sale of our technology projected by year 4. And with that will take us to our projections. These projections are based on our current simulations with TradeStation, assuming we are operating with proper capitalization. As we can see in year 1, the projected revenue will be around $10 million. And most of the costs will go into income taxes. And the 10% equity will get you around $600,000 in net profit in year 1. By year 2, you will get your money back. And in the last column, that is the projected sale of this technology. The sale price will be based on a conservative multiple of the revenue figures in year 4. And again, the 10% equities will get you around $9 million, $90 million in this deal. And lastly, let me introduce you to our team. On the top, you can see the founder, Mr. Dimmick. Mr. Dimmick is a veteran with a Juris Doctorate degree, currently working in a secret security clearance position with the US Department of Defense. He began developing the theory some time ago and filed the patent in March of 2021. And below that would be me. Before Relativity, I worked as a financial operations consultant at Accenture and as a accounting analyst at State Street Corporation. Currently, I spend most of my time doing simulations and finalizing the algorithm. And that is how Relativity optimizes financial markets. Thank you all for attending. Anyone have any questions?
Hi, Minky. Yeah, thanks for the presentation. In layman's terms, how does your platform make it more efficient to trade?
So the theory that Mr. Dimmick put forward is the theory posits that the financial market operates by a set of physical rules. And just like in the real world, knowing the law of physics allows you to fly an airplane on our planet. The same analogy can apply to the financial electronic exchange market. Knowing that how the market operate by, we are able to develop an algorithm that maximizes the efficiency of our trading program.
Okay. Somebody's asking a question about whether you have a patent versus a trade secret.
So I would say this is a technology that not only apply to trading. It's a technology, but it could apply to other company who wants to manage their position efficiently, not just to trade to get profit. So, but at the end of the day, this is a new technology.
Okay, are you targeting hedge funds or individual traders? Who is your customer?
So our targets will be most likely fund of fund, and it could be hedge funds or it could be investment banks. But we believe this technology is especially disruptive in the fund of fund industry because there are other algorithms out there put in place that are trading for profits. But in the fund of fund industry, I don't think there is a efficient way of managing their positions, like our algo. So.
Okay, so somebody asked a follow-on question after your explanation of physics. and being able to make a comparison to planes taking off and being able to fly. So the question was just like, how so? So what is your secret sauce? I know the algorithm is your secret sauce, but what does it enable you to do? How does it make you more efficient?
I think the key is to manage our risk, not by volatility, but by different time frames. I think that is the most I could disclose. Otherwise it will get into the proprietary information.
Okay, is it fair to say that you are trading, you're getting into and out of trades quicker so that on the downside you have less exposure and you could get into a trade faster than the signals that are being indicated by other algorithms?
Right. So our algorithm focus on the win rates. So those hedge funds out there using their algorithm, they see to optimize their profitability, but a lot of times that will lead to a losing trades. And what we're seeking to improve is to enter and exit on a better timing. So that's what we.
So are you currently doing any testing? Would that be you, or do you have some traders here and there that are testing your algorithm to prove it?
No, I'm doing it right now. So that's what I spend most of my time doing currently.
Okay. And so somebody asks, you're looking for $1 million, but could you start with some smaller amounts, say 50 or 100K,
Oh yeah,
and have the same return ratios?
Yes. So our plan was to start with any amount and just grow the funds, because with a 90% win ratio, the profits will accumulate over time. So we're not too worried about how much capital to start with. But $1 million is perfect, but few less than that is also fine too.
So then the projections in your slideshow, are they based on
$1 million?
On $1 million, okay. Let's see. So how long have you been doing your test, and when will you think that your test is complete, that will prove your theory?
So I joined Mr. just a few months ago, and I begin the finalizing on the algorithm and begin the simulations starting in June. So we are looking to finish our finalize everything and launch by August, sometime in August.
Okay. All right. How do you plan to market to the major investment portfolios? Like you said, it could be either a fund of funds or a hedge fund. How are you going to get that word out?
Sorry, what was the question again?
How are you going to market? How are you going to find this buyer for your exit?
So we will first run the algorithm with however much money we have, and once I think after a year or two, once we prove that the algo can attain 90% win rates over time and accumulate profits no matter how much money there is, then we will use that result to as our marketing material.
So let's see. Can you demonstrate? I don't see how you could demonstrate it. And they want to know if you've approached anybody, if you have any customers that are doing a proof of concept. And so who's doing the proof of concept? It's you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're doing it with the MVP, which is a minimum viable product.
Right.
Okay. And are you testing it with simulation, or are you using actual money?
So far, we're using simulations, and yeah, when we launch, that is sometime in August. That's when we will use the actual money.
Okay, will the market allow you to license this to multiple users, or will the customers be okay with their competitors using it after they license it? I don't understand the question, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this. I think that
So-
goes.
Hang on, Jeff will ask you the question.
So if you license it to me, so I have a firm, I want to license it from you. If I'm licensing it from you, I'd like to have it all to myself. I don't want my competitor using it. But I don't know if that's normal in the market. I mean, I've had a lot of software companies where my customers wanted to be sole users of the product. And I said, no, I can't. That's not the way my business is built. How does it work in the trading market? Will they be okay with other hedge funds, traders, fund of funds, firms using your, like being licensed to your algorithms?
Yeah. So I think in trading, I think we can only sell it to one buyer, and he'll be the sole owner of this technology, and that's what we'll be doing.
So then I'm going to paint a little picture, and you tell me whether you think it's accurate. So you raise $1 million, $100,000, whatever you raise, and you go through the process of using the algorithm to turn that $100,000 into $1 million over the course of 2 years, using the same ratios that you showed us.
Yeah.
And then you take that test and you go out and you find a fund of funds who wants to buy it from you, and they buy it from you for some big sum of money because presumably they can predictably do the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's it. You're done at that point. There's no more company there. It's just done once you've sold it.
I think Mr. Dimmick, he wants to reserve the right to himself. You know, he wants to be able to use it after he sells it to a company, but I think that's just him. But yeah, that in the big picture, that'll be it.
Okay, yeah. So make one big splash and you're out. Maybe you keep a little residual off of them going forward.
And if the fund grow really well, then we might not even need to sell the technology at that point.
Okay.
It all depends how those years plans out.
So it's all in the first really 3 years. It's home run or no run, home run or strikeout.
Do you guys currently have a list of targeted customers, of people that you will approach with your success and say, are you interested in buying this for 20x or 200x?
We have the fund of funds industry in mind, but right now we're just focusing on proving with real money.
Okay. Eric is saying that typically the author can retain R&D non-commercial rights. So I think Eric may be a patent attorney.
Okay.
Is a fund they are starting? That's a question. So with this $1 million investment and you're going to start trading, are you considering that a fund that you're starting, or are you just considering it that you are creating a proof of concept that will pay out money for 4 years and then be sold?
Yeah, right now we're considering we are the latter. The latter one.
So will you have to file any regulation or any documents with the SEC if you're going to have this investor and you're going to start trading with that money?
I'm not sure about that questions. But let,
Okay.
let me talk to
It's
Mr.
okay.
Nick.
It's okay if you don't know.
Yeah.
You're working on the math stuff and not the SEC
Right.
stuff. It's okay. But it's a
I've
good
tried,
question.
I've tried to promote Douglas a couple of times to a panelist, and it's just not working. So we can't hear from Douglas.
Yeah, he may not be able to join us today.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Okay, so let me just rephrase it from what I saw there. You are planning to take somebody on as a partner, trade with their money, make a nice return for them for several years, and then look to sell it when you've gotten it to a point where you'll have a high price to ask for from one customer.
Right.
Okay. All right.
And the fund, the resulting fund, whether you start with $1 million or 100,000, will have grown by, I don't know, 10 or 20x. Those funds are owned by who? That fund. Does that go with the sale of the software or the algorithm, or does that get kind of split up, with the investor?
Oh no, that will go to the. I don't think that would be split up, and
So the person buying.
It's an LLC.
Yeah.
So there, I mean, his slide said that they were sharing the profits every year.
So the investor gets the profits and presumably a piece of the deal.
Yeah.
But they don't get, other than the profits from that fund during the time that it's owned by the LLC. They're not gonna keep any of that investment money other than the profits.
I think they will get to keep the initial investments.
All right, and again, if you're not sure, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Okay. All right. I think it's relatively clear what you're asking for. So, Maggie, do we have any other questions, or should we bring this in for a landing?
No, I don't have any new questions in the chat.
Thanks. And Minky, thanks for presenting. I know you and Douglas have been working hard to try to explain this well enough without revealing the secret sauce. I think you've done a credible job of getting us to a decent level of understanding, and enough so that if we have more questions, then we can get deeper. Under an NDA if necessary, if we need to sign something and we really want to understand what the recipe is. So
yeah, if you have any more questions you want to discuss, you can go to any one of us, either Doug or me. Our email address is on the slides. And
okay.
We can talk more about it.
Terrific. Thanks again, Minky. So thanks also to Tim and Gary for the presentation on, I keep wanting to call it Express Tickets, but I know you've changed the name now.
Stream it now.
Stream it now. Thanks for that presentation as well. So it's going to take us usually by the time our group have all seen this either live or they've had a chance to watch the recordings and give us their feedback. Best case is usually the rest of this week and all of next week, and the very early part of the week thereafter is usually when we're starting to get enough information back from everybody that we feel like we can share it with you. Despite the fact that, I'll say again, please, investors and advisors, get your feedback back to Maggie as fast as you can. So you should expect to hear, not next week, but probably the week after from us. And if you don't, just circle back with me or with Maggie, and we'll let you know where we're at. And the recordings generally are available by the following Monday, although we're writing a grant this week. So hopefully there'll be enough time to actually have them out on shortly after the weekend. They'll briefly be available on YouTube because it gets automatically posted. And then we'll take that down and replace it with just the pitches as quickly as we can. I think that's it. We will be back again in 2 weeks, not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after, with 2 more pitches. The folks who regularly subscribe to our information will get the information about those companies in the days preceding the next pitch session. And we'll see you then. Maggie, anything I'm forgetting? Any announcements we got to get out to the group? Well, we got them all here.
No, I don't think so. But if you have companies that you know of that would like to pitch, just have them go to our website and sign up on the entrepreneur information form.
All right. And Martin, that last question you put in the chat about how the funds are going to be used, I think what they said is they're going to just use them to trade. That's
Trading capital.
Yeah. So it's trading capital, nothing else. All right. Then thanks again, everybody, for coming out today. And Tim and Gary and Minky and Douglas, we will get back to you as soon as we can. And we'll see you guys all again at our next pitch day. Thanks, everybody, again for coming out.
August 4th. See you then.
August 4th. See you then.